Hello and welcome to a new video. I was like not waiting to make for a while, but I've been very negative in the latest video where I just talked about the worst skill of every hero. So let's do the opposite today. Let's talk about great skills, aka the best skill of every hero. I know, I'm very creative. Oh wow, who'd have thought? After the video about the worst skill, he makes the video about the best skill. That's crazy. But yeah, it's time to talk about the best skill of every hero. Now, it's very important that this is about like this single skill and not like if there's like a combo skill that it like combos with. It doesn't matter if there's like a second skill that supports really well and like the skill gets a lot better because of the second skill. So it's kind of just like skills like by themselves very often. So yeah, you'll see what I mean when I talk about them. There's like a few very good examples, but let's get right into it. A-bomb. For A-bomb, it's between two of them. It's between Manacles and Absolution. Both skills are really good, but I think I'm gonna give the edge to Manacles here. The advantage of Manacles is that it has really, really good trinket support. Like by itself, the skill is kind of just really mediocre. Um, Good accuracy, pretty good damage for a stun. Like the minus 10% stun chance is just horrid. But good targeting, decently good ranks. The reason this thing is so good is mainly just because Broken Key is completely absurd support. 35% stun chance is just unacceptable. Especially like paired with paired log transference, just giving that extra 20% stun chance on top. And then you end up with like a really, really fast, really defensive stunner with like great base stats that also deals like really good damage, even just with the stun. So that's like the advantage of Manacles as a stun. It's just very consistent. Absolution is like a good second skill. I think you might be able to argue that Absolution is better, but in my eyes, like you can run Manacles without Absolution, but running Absolution without Manacles kind of like yeah. But definitely don't underestimate Absolution. This skill is also like really good, and you could definitely say that Absolution is better than Manacles. But in my eyes, Manacles is like the main A-bomb skill, and that's like why he's really good. So I'm picking Manacles as his best skill. Now, Antiquarian. This one is a bit difficult because her best skill depends on like which part of the game you add. If you're a late game, it's Invigorating Vapors. Like it's not even remotely close. This is an absurdo skill. She just gets completely carried by this. But early on, Protect Me is actually like much better. Like early on, Protect Me just gives you more stats. And because it like relies on synergies, it helps like the other heroes. So they have like really good defensive stats as well. The mark helps a lot and just like makes your defensive stuff much better. Um, but yeah, like I think it's gonna be a very Vapors. This thing is just completely absurd the moment you hit like the late levels of veteran because you get like level 4 and then the jump from level 4 to level 10 is like kind of like yeah. You just get like that one extra dodge, but before that you get like a 2 dodge jump every level, and getting that 9 dodge per use is just incredibly good. And then this skill just pops off. It's completely insane at that point. You just like sit in front of enemies. You just stall for to your heart's content because this skill is insane. It's always Invigorating Vapors. I don't think it's even close. Like these are like at best okay, but Invigorating Vapors is absurd, and Protect Me is like also absurd, but not as absurd as Invigorating Vapors. Now, Arbalist. For Arbalist, it's Sniper Shot. I mean, are you surprised? Like, what else am I gonna pick? I guess Battlefield Bandage, but it's Sniper Shot. Like, the rest of the kit just isn't all there, and like, the only other skill that you could argue is Battlefield Bandage, but I don't think Battlefield Bandage is close to how good Sniper Shot is. Early on, the skill kind of sucks, because what the fuck is that? And then you go look at to like late game, suddenly it's really good. Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate, but Sniper Shot is really good. High accuracy, really consistent damage, good reach. That's what you like to see. Now, Bounty Hunter. This one's also like really obvious. It's Flashbang. Flashbang is the only non-plague Doctor stun that can hit rank 4, which is really, really good. It's also like on a decent body. 7 speed is like, it's okay. There's like faster heroes. Like you really want to be towards the top end of like 9 speed, but you do have like good options to increase his speed. Namely, you have where is it? Mask of the Timeless. This thing is quite good. And then you have like really good accuracy with Hunter's Talon. Or if you want to, you can even run Vengeful Kill List and get a bunch of accuracy and move skill chance. So that's kind of useful. Otherwise, Flashbang, really good accuracy, really good target range. It can be used from a lot of ranks. It has an extra 10% stun skill chance, which is really good. The only thing this skill really lacks is good trinket support. As you've like maybe already saw, the best trinket support is like Vengeful Kill List, and it doesn't help like the skill as much as like a really good like plus stun skill chance trinket. Like if this thing had like broken key tier support, like if this had like a plus 20% stun skill chance increase in like a single trinket with maybe like some other upside, or not even like another upside, then Flashbang would be like completely insane. But unfortunately, it doesn't get that. It's still a really good skill, but yeah, it's definitely like his best skill by a pretty wide margin in my eyes. Flashbang is just really, really strong. Crusader. You can go two ways with this. You can either go Holy Lands or you can go Inspiring Cry. Both skills are good, but I think I'm gonna give it to Inspiring Cry just for like its general flexibility. This thing is incredibly strong. Like it heals a bit, which is good enough to pull people off of Death's Door. The stress healing like is really good as well. The torch is like sure, but it can be used from anywhere, which is extremely valuable for a heal. It's a great stalling tool. It can crit, which makes it like heal a lot of stress, and that's like its main advantage. It makes use of like Crusader's relatively free trinket slots, so you can run stuff like Sign Conscription or Ancestor Scroll to get like really good value from Inspiring Cry. But yeah, like just really, really flexible heal. Stress healing on top of that, just really good skill. The other option is like Holy Lance, which I would also argue is like a really good skill. Really good reach. It obviously moves you forward, so you can't like spam it without like help. But really good crit rate. It has like pretty good plus damage as well. Solid enough accuracy, and obviously like the main advantage of this is that you have Crusader base damage, which is just really strong. And the downside of the skill, you have Crusader speed. That's kind of the issue with the skill, but like if you can play around that minus or like the low speed, then this is like one of the best damage skills in the game in my eyes. Just because of how much damage it deals and how good of a reach it has, but just because it isn't that fast, like I don't think I can put this as like his best skill over Inspiring Cry. If Crusader had like more speed, then Holy Lance would probably be higher. And obviously you can kind of do that with Quick Draw Charm to just make him really fast turn one, that just like Holy Lance something instantly because you have that insane like +8 speed from Quick Draw Charm, which is quite good. But yeah, it's most likely Inspiring Cry. This thing is just absurdo. Flagellant. This is probably Reclaim. You could maybe argue like Redeem, maybe, but I think it's Reclaim. It's not even close. The skill is really, really strong. The raw healing on this is already like good enough to tell you why this is his best skill, because this is just Grace. This is just Divine Grace from Vestal, but like more healing. If you don't have the trinket support on Vestal, Reclaim is just straight up better. It just heals more. On top of that, it gets like a bunch of other benefits. You can use it from anywhere, which is really useful. It's preventative healing, so you can like kind of use it preemptively if you know like, oh, there's like a big hit coming, and you can pop this onto someone, and then like even if they are full HP and then they get crit from like full HP to 0, doesn't matter. They take the action, Reclaim instantly heals them back up. Really, really good for that. The other benefit is obviously that it's like healing over time, so it prevents death from damage over time, which is like the most important thing that for any HP heal to do, because damage over time is how you lose like a hero to like HP damage. And the other benefit of this is that it has multiple crit chances. So if you press this once, you basically get 2 chances at getting a crit heal for extra stress healing, which is obviously also really good. The downside of this is obviously that it isn't as immediate, so you have to kind of plan around it. And if you can't plan it with Flagellant very well, then a lot of the upside of this skill does go into the dumpster, but just get good. Smile. And the self-beat can be very painful sometimes. Losing 9 HP early on like your 22 HP hero is horrible. Especially because Redeem at that point is healing like 8. And if you can't out-heal this with Redeem, it's over, my guy. Horrible. Later on, like, it doesn't matter that much. Like, 15 points on like 38 HP is like slightly better. And like the way you get around this is obviously you just increases beat resist to like really high levels to like both get good defensive upside for like a relatively fragile hero and like make Reclaim just a lot better because it doesn't bleed you, and if this skill doesn't bleed you, it's completely insane because you just spam this thing. Really, really good skill. Grave Robber. Oh well, it's lunch. Who would have thought? I know I'm sure people are surprised by lunge being her best skill. Plus 40% damage, really good accuracy, good target ranks. You can target rank 4, which is like a pretty bad downside to have on lunge, but it makes up for that with really good crit chance. You get even more damage. It's just really good burst damage. Like you don't even need trinket support for this sometimes because you just have good accuracy on this, which is huge. And obviously, if you get the trinket support for this, like, have you read Sharpened Letter Opener? Have you read these stats? Okay. And then you'd like pair it with like a lot of other good skills to like hit rank 4. You just bring someone else who can kill rank 4 turn 1, and then like the downside of this that not being able to hit rank 4 is really good. And like it's paired with the highest base speed in the game. Just really strong skill. You have to kind of plan around like the forward too, but at the same time you don't. Optimally, if you want to like get as much value out of her as possible, you really want to set up like double lunge. So you can lunge turn 1, then like you go forward somehow, and then or you push her back into rank 3 and then you lunge again. So that's like the maximum output of damage, but that obviously has a downside that you get locked out of like your reach, because you can't use Thrown Dagger or Poison Darts from rank 1. So unless you have like a double mover, where you have like 2 heroes that can move forward 1, where like she's in rank 1, then like your rank 2 hero moves forward, and then your rank 3 hero also moves forward, and then she ends up in rank 3. You can make that sometimes work, but that's very reliable in terms of like the speed. So usually you just end up pressing like lunge like once or twice, and then you just like kind of go with the flow. You just like to decide, oh yeah, do you need Thrown Dagger? Do you really need the burst damage from lunge? Because you can just kind of start stalling. If you obviously want like the fastest end of the fight, you just kind of double lunge. But yeah, lunge is just by far her best skill. There's definitely like good skills in here, like Thrown Dagger, Poison Dart, even Shadow Fade. Like all of these skills are good, but they are just not close to lunge. Hellion. Picking one best skill for her is very difficult. Because there's a lot here. Like, you can go Iron Swan, just good damage, hits rank 4 with really high base damage on a really good body. Yob is amazing, double stun with higher chance. It doesn't get good trinket support, but just baseline the skill is really strong. If it bleeds, also like a pretty good choice. Like it deals solid damage. It's very flexible. It's by far like her most flexible skill, I would say. It hits good ranks. Just also like a pretty good solid skill. Bleed out, deletes frontliners, just kills everything. Yeah, like all 4 of these skills, in my eyes, you could pick. Like just say like, yep, that's the best skill. And I would be like, yeah. Like you can make an argument for all 4, but in my opinion, I'm gonna go for if it bleeds. The skill is too flexible to not pick as her best skill, in my eyes. But you can definitely argue like any of like these other 3 skills, and I would be like, yeah, you can make an argument that there's like definitely upside to all 3 of them. But in my eyes, it's if it bleeds. This skill is absurdly flexible, being able to use from all front 3 ranks to hit the middle 2, which is really good for Hellion specifically, because otherwise, like, only usable for rank 1, only usable for rank 1, only usable in the front 2. It's kind of like, eh. So this gives her like a nice bonus of flexibility. It gets around like the downside of hitting rank 2 very often, which is like prot, because it does bleed. And yeah, it's just really good damage. It's great against like multi-action enemies, because then like the bleed procs twice, and that's just like more damage than something like Iron Swan sometimes. If you have like a size 2 enemy in the back. But yeah, really good skill. In my eyes, it's her best skill, but it kind of just depends on day and how I'm feeling. Like you could definitely catch me saying, yeah, like Iron Swan is the best skill. Yeah, Bleeder is the best skill. Those are like all fair in my eyes, but if it beats, it's in my eyes her best skill. Highwayman. Let's do this events. Who would have thought? This skill is absurd if you build around it, if you like build towards it. Like early on, you just want like an accuracy trinket. You don't even need an accuracy trinket, but later on, you really need at least 1, maybe even 2. You can sometimes get away with 1 if you have like a really good accuracy quirk. Like if you have Shrieker's Eye or something, then yeah. Or you can go with something like Surgical Gloves, which kind of gives you like a blend of like good offense and accuracy. Just because like the riposte obviously doesn't scale, it stays at 85, which is quite bad, because if you are hitting stuff with 85 base accuracy at champion level, I mean, you have less accuracy than Chop. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. You are not running base accuracy duelist events at champions seriously. That's not a thing. And even with just a one accuracy trinket, that's questionable, man. That's just not very consistent, and you're just not getting like the upside of this consistently, and that really sucks. But yeah, duelist events, just high accuracy on hit, pretty good damage, hits rank 3, solid enough crit modifier, deals absurd damage if it pops off. If it doesn't pop off, it's just a good skill, and like having that really good high, or like that high payoff floor of like having a good on hit attack, paired with like the potential that's just completely sky high. Like if you go like for all 4 enemies somehow stay alive, all 4 of them hit into duelist advance, riposte, and for like 2 turns in a row, Highwayman just hits for like 200 damage. Ridiculous. Obviously, that doesn't happen because why are you leaving 4 enemies alive for 2 turns in a row? That shouldn't happen. That's a major like red flag, and Highwayman is probably dead at that point. But if it happens, hey man, really, really high like damage seeding skill. So let's do this events. Like the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about is pistol shot. This skill is less like it's definitely like also a viable playstyle. Like Ranger Highwayman is very good, but in my eyes, it's less because pistol shot is so good. It's more so that like the trinket support is really good, and that like through this event becomes very like investment heavy. So it's not like really the skill carrying Ranger Highwayman, it's more so like everything around it. And I think like the skill itself being good is more important for like the best skill than like everything around the skill carrying it to like absurdo levels or like to like similar levels. So I'm giving it to do this events. This thing is insane. Hornmaster. This one's difficult. And I thought about this before and it's just god dog. Um the reason for that is that every other skill, like they are all so good. They are like really, really good. Like you can argue Hound's Rush. It's just really strong damage. If you manage to like get both of these bonuses active. With Dog Treat, guaranteed hits, plus 15 accuracy, plus 50% damage, on top of like his already good damage, you double that? Okay. And then you get like offensive trinkets on top of that. Because you don't need accuracy technically, because you get plus 15 from Dog Treats. Okay. Suddenly you just hit for like 20 damage because that's a skill. That's fair. It hits everything. It's extremely strong. Target Whistle, one of the best like offensive utility skills in the game. It has minus 20% prot on 130% debuff chance for some reason, and it lasts like 1 extra turn for some reason. So that's cool. It also just has like high accuracy for some reason. So this is just also like an absurd skill. It's probably like the best offensive utility skill in the game. Maybe aside from Ballad. Ballad is probably better, but Target Whistle is also like really, really strong. Cry Havoc, early on, kind of bad. Later on, just heal 24 stress. Okay. That's insane. Guard Dog is, in my opinion, his best skill because if you build around this skill quite literally says make any 2 heroes immune to everything. Okay, just become immortal on 2 heroes. That's ridiculous. So yeah, that's why I'm picking Guard Dog. And you could also like argue Blackjack. The skill is high accuracy, okay-ish damage, higher stun chance than average, decently good trinket support. It's not like it's Blasphemous Vial or Demon's Cauldron, but 25% stun skill chance for -1 speed is still like a pretty good trinket. So yeah, in my eyes, Guard Dog his best skill, but like you could go Target Whistle, you could go Cry Havoc, you can even go Hound's Rush, you can go like Blackjack. Like all 5 of these skills are like completely fair in my eyes. There's like upsides and downsides to each, because you do kind of have to like build around Guard Dog to make it like to that absurdo level. But like Cry Havoc has the downside of like yeah, you kind of need like early game, and early game is just kind of as same with Target Whistle. Like what are you marking on Apprentice? Like there's no ghoul. You're marking like fucking Bone Defender who's just doing nothing. You can argue Hound's Rush, but at the same time, like you need to set up everything, and early on it's just a lot worse. Blackjack, like yeah, it's an amazing stun, but actually yeah, it's just an amazing stun. So yeah, like there's a lot you could argue. Like all of these skills have like a downside, and they all provide like really good upside as well. So in my eyes, it's guard dog, but you could go either way with this guy. Dresser, it's ballad. If anyone is surprised by this, like I'm sorry, but you are just not good at the game. It's battle ballad. The other thing you kind of can like argue, like the reason I'm not picking finale solo finale, which is also like a viable playstyle, is mainly because both of these skills are good, and like you make use of like two skills being both good, and compared to Bella just basically carrying like by itself. Like if you are playing Bella Jester, like you are not picking that for slice off. I'm sorry, you are just picking for ballad, and you are just most likely pressing ballad every turn because it's fucking battle ballad. So yeah. It's Battle Ballad. It's his best skill because by itself it's like as good as Finale and Solo together. So yeah. Lepo. This is also not difficult. It's Intimidate. The amount of kit fixing this skill does is completely ridiculous. It sets up your offense, your defense. It helps you with utility. Okay. It deals chip damage. Sure. Whatever you say, video game. Just give me everything. Like, this skill is completely insane. If you run Leper without Intimidate, I'm sorry, like, you are just not playing Leper. You are pressing Chop. I don't think I have to, like, explain why Chop is bad, because people have done so in the past, and it's still all true. Intimidate fixes, like, a lot of the issues that Lepers has, because it helps you set up, like, your really good defense, because you have Solemnity, and really good HP, obviously, so marking yourself is just very valuable, because any attack going to Leper is a much better attack than everything else, because nobody else has Solemnity, basically. And it's much easier to recover Leper than any other hero, so that's kind of why like the self mark is really good. The self extra speed is also really good. It helps him like outspeed a lot of frontliners, especially at higher levels, like +4 speed. At that point, like he's usually like around that like speed tie, maybe like +1, -1 compared to most enemy frontliners. And if you get like a plus speed buff from Intimidate on top of that, that's very often just doubling his speed. And if you double your speed, then suddenly you are no longer like speed tying enemies, you are actually like just outspeeding them, which is really, really valuable. It helps you like go into mid turn 1 and then turn 2 before like the enemy frontline can act. You can just chop them, which is just much better than like chopping turn 1 and then like doing Intimidate after, because Intimidate not only does that, you also get like a full turn of self mark value, and of course you get all of this. The bypass stealth is good into like Shaman specifically, mainly because you get like a pretty good speed debuff. And the minus damage is great into anything that deals on-hit damage. That's Bone Arbalist, that's your front line, your size 2 enemies. You just sit in front of them, especially at max level. You just press Intimidate 3 times. They deal 1% damage. And I'm sorry, but if you are worried about getting crit for 1, I'm sorry, that's not a thing. You are lying. Because then you just sit in front of them, you just recover with your team. It's very, very free, really good skill. And like the moment like you hit anything with -5 speed, like they are just not outspeeding you anymore, which is really valuable for like follow-up, because then you can go like turn 1 and you like attack the backliners. They like you don't manage to kill them for some reason, like maybe you got a miss or something, or you just didn't have enough damage. You intimidate them. Next turn, your damage sheet outspeeds the backliner. You kill the backliner before they can act again. So it basically acted as like a budget stun. And then you obviously get like the trip damage, which is kind of good, because even if you're only dealing like 15% damage, it's still 15% damage of leper damage. So very often this is hitting for like 3 to 4 damage, which is good enough to like finish stuff off. Really high accuracy, just absurd skill. Like it's Intimidate, it's not even close. Like the power level of Leper with Intimidate compared to Leper without Intimidate is worlds. Like the moment you remove Intimidate from Leper's kit, Leper becomes like the worst hero in the game by like a pretty wide margin. But with Intimidate, he's pretty good. Man at Arms. Um, this is probably Defender. You can definitely like argue that's like Rampart, but it's probably Defender. Defender is really, really strong for much of the same reason that Houndmaster's Guard is really strong. You can just like make two heroes pretty much immune to on-hit damage with this skill. If you have great dodge, which is pretty easy with Man-at-Arms because you get tactics, you have like, I guess, Mirror Shield giving you 10 dodge, smile, but you can like use Man-at-Arms pretty good defensive stats. Like, this is nothing to scoff at. you're actually like pretty close to like the high ranges of HP. Like you are only behind like Crusader and Leper. Um, but both of those heroes have like way less dodge than Mad Arms, I'm pretty sure. I think Crusader has like 5 base as well. Yeah, he has 5 base as well. Yeah, it just has like 6 extra HP, but obviously Crusader doesn't get like the um tanking ability or like the defensive utility that Mad Arms gets, and Leper just kind of like has more HP. I think he has even the same. He doesn't have the same, but he has like 0, right? I think he has like, yeah, he has 0, but he obviously gets like all of his stuff. So you just get like really good defensive stats onto like 2 heroes. You become immune to like on the damage, especially on higher levels. You press like twice and nothing is like hitting you for meaningful damage. You can sit in front of enemies, just stall against them. Really, really good skill. It combos really well with command. Never forget about command. If you are planning to press your guard a lot, bring command. This thing is absurd if you manage to like actually press the guard. Because 10 accuracy, 8 crit, that's just battle ballad. 25% damage. Just for free. Okay. And the stacks. So if you technically go defender, command, command, 20 accuracy, 16 crit, 50% damage. Let that sink in. 50% damage. Okay. That's ridiculous. So yeah. Command, really, really good. Um, especially when paired with defender. It needs defender to like function. Without defender, command is just kind of like, yeah, not great, but because of how good defender is, you can very often just run command. Um, but yeah, defender by far his best skill for obvious reasons. Just use the skill. It's really strong. I've used defensive utility, which I know you don't technically need to do like very often. You can just get away with like crush, rampart, bellow, turn 1, and just like kill the enemy. But defender, really, really strong skill. Musketeer I kind of talked about with Arbalest already. Occultist, now we get to the easy part. Metallic Abyss, I don't have to explain this. It's one of the best skills in the game. The best single target in the game. Insane crit chance. Pretty good damage, really good targeting. A really fast body on top of that. And obviously, some of the best trigger support in the game. Demon's Cauldron is just ridiculous. Vial of Sand is also just ridiculous. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hands on Abyss. It's not close. Like I don't think any other skill comes close to how good Hands is. So yeah. Plague Doctor, I won't even open this. You already know it's blinding gas. It stuns 2 enemies in the backline on a really fast body. It gets Blasphemous Vial support. It's blinding gas. I don't have to like go into like any depth here. It's not even close. With Shieldbreaker, it's Pierce. Unfortunately, I really want to admit to say that it's Puncture, but it's probably just Pierce. Puncture is really good utility. It pulls, minus speed is just really good. I'm getting past guard guaranteed because the funniest part about this skill is that like even if you miss puncture, you still break the guard, which is just insane. So you just miss puncture, break guard anyway. Okay. But yeah, like her best skill is probably still Pierce. It hits for good damage on a really, really fast body. 9 speed is the second highest in the game, and for a damage dealer, which she most of the time is with Pierce, this is really good. Otherwise, the armor piercing part is like kind of okay against like certain backliners, but usually doesn't come up too often. It's great against like certain frontliners that are dangerous, like Ghoul, for example. Chevaliers are a really good example. Those are really scary. Anything that like puts up a guard with low HP, aka most of the Crimson Guard, and like it's great against courtesans because they give like a big prot buff if they force a guard, or the manservants, which obviously like also guard and get a big prot bonus. You just like armor pierce them and they just die instantly. It also has like +5 accuracy, which helps that. Downside of the skill, minus 10% damage modifier. It makes the skill hit a lot less hard. Jesus. It makes the skill hit a lot less than some of its competitors of like the pure damage categories, like Iron Swan from Hellion, Pistol Shot, Duelist Advance, like all of those skills just either hit for way more on hit or have like a potential for much more damage in terms of like just ceiling, like look at Duelist Advance. So yeah, like that's kind of where Pierce struggles compared to like other skills that hit non-prot enemies. Pierce can be like a lot worse sometimes, especially if you like take into account that she really needs like defensive stats to fix her like pretty bad HP. But yeah. Otherwise, Pierce extremely flexible as well, hits every rank. From almost every rank, it moves you forward, so you can fix your positions with that. Just really, really strong skill. It does a lot. It doesn't do as much as you would expect, because sometimes people get fooled by like the armor piercing, that like it's some pseudo broken skill, which in my opinion it isn't. It's just good. But I think it's her best skill. You can maybe argue puncture as well, because the skill just does a lot as well. Really extraordinary flexible, extremely good pull, because it pulls any rank. But yeah, it's probably Pierce. Vestal. I hate this. I hate this so much. Because this is like a mid-off. Like, all four of these skills are so, like, incredibly mediocre, and I don't want to give, like, her best skill to any of them. Because it feels like shit. The reasoning, judgment. This skill doesn't deal good damage. Mediocre accuracy, which is really bad for, like, someone who doesn't want to run accuracy very often. It has good targeting. Launch from very bad ranks. Base damage is not great. You technically have the same base damage as Arbalest, but you get like -1/4, so it's really not the same base damage. It's just a lot worse. You don't get like the damage ceiling that Arbalest gets. You don't get like the free damage trinket she can equip, because you have to like deal with your accuracy first. So Judgment just hits for nothing. It can finish off something here or there if you like gamble for it, but the accuracy just isn't high enough. The selfie is like okay, but Vestal's often not struggling for defenses if she's in the backline, because you have 44 HP, which is really good for a backliner. And like obviously it's fucking Vestal, like you have Divine Grace, Divine Comfort, so you just kind of heal yourself. But Judgment, just the self heal, just like the best part about the self heal is that like you can like stress heal extra. That's its main advantage. I'm sorry. But yeah, Judgment just very mediocre damage. I think her best skill is probably Dazzling Light. It's a mediocre stun. It's like the most like yup stun in the game, which makes it kind of like the single worst stun in the game, because it has like okay accuracy, 100% base chance, deals almost no damage, targets the front three, can be used from like the back three. Trinket support. If you give up 2 slots, you get 35% chance, but then you are just like, you have a completely dead trinket slot basically. This is just not optimal, because you would just want to run like scroll for like the swapping value. You could run like much better stuff over this. Maybe you don't even want to run plus healing skills. So it's just kind of like, you need to give up like both slots for this. If you could just give up one to get just this upside, then it would be good. That would be really good. But you have to give up both for this, and both these slots are just like not providing much else. Outside of like the plus 25% healing skills. And if you are wasting 2 slots for 25% healing skills and 35% stun chance, highly questionable. And otherwise, like, this thing just doesn't get trinket support. It's the worst stun skill in the game, but it's probably Vestal's best skill, because everything else is just so mediocre. And the worst stun in the game is still better than most of Vestal Kit. Very sad. But yeah, this thing is just not good compared to like any other stun. Like, A-Bomb hits much harder, much better trinket support, much better body, much higher speed. Bounty Hunter, Flashbang hits rank 4, much better speed. Shuffles, Crusader, like, you can maybe argue Stunning Blow is worse, but Stunning Blow gets 2 really good support trinkets in Paradise's Crest and the Shard trinket, and like it hits much harder. It only targets the frontal ranks, which is kind of like why you could argue it's worse. Hellion, not even remotely close, like have you read Yob. Blackjack, not even close, have you read like Blackjack or like its trinket support. Mad Arms, have you read Rampart Shield. I don't think I have to talk about these two. So yeah, like, which stun is worse? You could argue Stunning Blow. So it's the second worst stun in the game. Which, great. If that's the point you want to make, sure, go right ahead. The Vestal defenders will hate me, but Dazzling Light is her best skill, but it's still a terrible skill. Because it's not a good stun. And like the main reason otherwise is like Divine Grace is like, it's like okay. It like heals, which, cool. But if I just want like pure healing, why wouldn't I just pick Flagellant for that? Or Cultist healed more on average. Arbalest with food healing, It's just like compared to all of those heals, yes, it's still good because all of those heals are also good, but it's just nothing special, you know? Divine Comfort, the skill is this skill is actually like pretty good. I press comfort way more than grace. The reason is just because like you can like fish for crit heals with this much easier. And I just autopilot to press comfort. It's not great. It has like no upside. The only thing this does is like if your entire team is damaged, you get like more overall healing, which you generally don't care about because you just want to make sure that like your users that are in danger are like safe. Um, and food healing just kind of like does the same thing, so you don't really need it very often. They're like, oh, but it pulls multiple heroes off Death's Door. Why are multiple heroes on Death's Door? At that point, you are not pressing comfort, you are pressing the retreat button. You are no longer staying in that fight. At max, you press comfort once, afterwards, you are out of there. Immediately. And I'm sorry, if you want to use a skill that heals for 8, and you are like, yeah, if I pull someone off of their store for 8 HP, they are safe. I'm sorry, you are tripping balls, my guy. That is not even close. Like, anything kills you. You are just not safe. Sure, you're off of their store, but you didn't accomplish anything. You know? And if multiple heroes are sitting at 8 HP, like, you are just not safe. If that's one person sitting at, like, 8 HP, it's like, yeah, okay, sure. Like, if the enemies target this one guy, then it's fine. But if there's multiple, there's like a 50-50, then it becomes scary. Like, 25%, 50%, that's a big difference. So comfort, like, healing off multiple people just doesn't do anything. It does heal, like, a lot overall. Like, if you just get, like, the 5 healing on everybody, that's 20 healing. Pretty good. Issue is, like, it's spread out, and you might not get full value, so it's really good to, like, heal the trip healing, though, so kind of nice, but I think it's Dazzling Light. Just because it's a stun, it allows you to, like, do anything. This thing can, like, function without trinket support, where, like, Judgment really needs it to, like, be consistent, and these two also, like, need it to be, like, anything, like, that isn't just very, very mediocre healing. So, yeah, it's Dazzling Light. The skill is, like, okay. That's the best I can say. Anyway, enough yapping. This video was a lot faster than the last one. I'm gonna put like the skills up there again, like I did last time. And as always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like and subscribe, or you can follow me on Twitch, because that's where like I actively stream a lot. And if you want to argue with me about stuff, go there. I'm always happy to like explain my reasoning once again, because sometimes like people just don't watch the video. Smile. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. That was the list over there. And as always, hope see you all like the next time I like to see you, I suppose. So yeah. Let me know if you want to see like more stuff like this, because I enjoy making these videos. They are very easy to make. I just sit down and yap for like half an hour, which is what I do anyways. But for 4 hours instead on my stream, so it's just free content. Smile.